How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. And today's topic, I want to discuss with you what is an individual retirement annuity and why may somebody want to get involved with an individual retirement annuity for their specific retirement planning process. Now, an individual retirement annuity is kind of just like an IRA contract, but it's hid underneath an annuity chassis. The reason why someone would want to do that is because of specific safety, safe accumulation on their physical accounts, and then also eventual lifetime income from their specific retirement accounts as well that an annuity contract can provide. So what do I mean by that? Well, typically what happens is an individual is going and is working for a company and is spending dollars into some sort of retirement account, kind of think of it like a retirement bucket. This retirement bucket could either be known as like a 401k account, a 403b account. It could just be an IRA account. The person just set up a regular IRA account, on their own. You could have 403bs, 457 plans, thrift savings plans, different things. But essentially what's happening is this individual that's working for the company, he's taking money that he's getting paid through that employer. He's taking a portion of it and throwing it essentially into a bucket that's deemed for retirement. So what happens is it's not so much the contributions that this person goes and places into the bucket, but it all goes about the rate of return. What type of return are you going to receive? And what determines this bucket to either be larger or smaller at the end of the day, at the end of the year, is how well this performance works. So individuals typically go and they have a long time horizon. So, if you start working for a company when you're in your 20s, and let's say, you're one of those few people that stay with the company until retirement, in a perfect scenario, you're accumulating all that money into this bucket. Now, this bucket is typically tied to some sort of mutual funds regarding that 401k account or that 403b account, etc. So if you go and you have this money in mutual funds, which is a combination of stocks and bonds, and let's say that everything's going well, you're placing money in, it's growing, then all of a sudden you have a market downturn, well, then that could significantly reduce this bucket. So where an individual retirement annuity comes into play, or at least for a safety preservation mindset, is it could help you accomplish specific goals meant for retirement income, meant for retirement safety, that the typical 401k, that the typical just primarily mutual fund accounts, retirement accounts cannot provide. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say if you go and you have an individual that they left a company, typically the way on how somebody could have access to their old 401ks, their old retirement accounts through work is if they meet the age 59 and a half rule. Typically that employer or that specific institution that holds that retirement account will allow that person to take a portion of their money and roll it over into a type of IRA contract where now they could determine, what they want to do with that money, whether they want this IRA contract to be heavily invested in much higher quality mutual funds, or do you want to have more safety, more preservation on that account? So some of the guidelines are, if you have an old retirement account, typically right when you hit age 59 and a half, you have access to roll over that money. Or if you have an old 401k account, let's say you go from company A, you stop working for company A, you start working for company B. Well, that retirement account that was set up with company A is now sitting on the sidelines. You now have access to, if it's a 401k account, we'll just stay with that example, you have access to now roll over those monies and leverage them the proper way. So what an individual retirement annuity does is it says, rather than take this 401k money and make the common mistake that people do, is they'll take that money and throw it into their checking account. If they have $100,000 that's sitting in their 401k account, they'll just take all that money and say, oh, well, I've accumulated this money, let me just throw it in my checking account. And that's the biggest retirement mistake that you could make, or at least biggest downfall that you could make with taking out distributions, regardless of whatever age you are. Reason being is because the IRS has already deemed this as a qualified retirement account. So you have a 59 and a half rule on that money. So if you go and take that money and you take it and you throw it into your cash account, or you throw it into your checking account, whatever that is, and you do it the wrong way, well then the government is going to penalize you 10%, and they're going to hit you with full taxation. So if you're a 30% tax bracket, you take out $100,000, you're going to get dinged with the 10% penalty, which is 10 grand. And let's say if you're in a 30% tax bracket, it'll be another 30 grand. You'll be able to essentially walk away with a net of about 60,000. So that's a big no-no. That's a big loss. So what somebody could do is say, okay, well, this money is already designed for retirement. So let me try to match it up with my specific retirement goals. Some people have a retirement goal of saying, I just want to make sure that I'm not receiving any downward market loss to my account, but whenever the market goes up, I'm going to receive specific gains into that account. And that's through a type of individual retirement annuity contract. So that's one type of individual retirement annuity contract where you could do that. And all that is just an IRA contract that's housed through an insurance company that offers specific benefits for that individual depending upon their age or depending upon their gender. So if you had this $100,000 and let's say the person left employment and they're 50 years old and they're working for a new company, well, rather than leaving that 401k susceptible to downward market losses, mutual fund related fees, and possible advisor fees, they could go take that money, roll it over into an individual retirement annuity that works like a bucket with now a lid over it. So this might be involved with indexing strategies. You could do it in fixed accounts. You could do it in variable accounts. I absolutely hate the variable individual retirement annuities, but I like more of that index type realm to make sure that you're getting that safe, consistent growth. So the way that works is, let's say if you go and you do that rollover, now you have $100,000 that's sitting in an IRA contract, an individual retirement annuity contract. So every year they take a 1 year point to point and they say, okay, did the market gain? Did your specific index that you chose, dependent upon that company, was there a gain in that account? If there was a gain, we're going to open up the lid, pour the gain inside, close the lid again. So now you have a larger bucket. The next year, let's say the market went down. Well, now they'll just leave that lid closed. You have a floor of 0% at all times. So that just allows your accounts year by year to have a safe, consistent growth on your types of retirement monies. Now, let's say if you have a 5-year contract, understand after 5 years, you could go take whatever that money is. You could either leave it in the contract or you could roll it over into whatever the next best option is. Or if you have some of a longer term horizon, if you say, listen, I'm age 50, I want to basically eventually retire and take this money for retirement. Maybe you have $100,000 that's sitting in an old 401k account and you know for sure that all this money you want to designate for eventual retirement income. Maybe that specific age goal is age 65. So we know that, okay, with $100,000, you could throw it into an individual retirement annuity contract. And if your main goal was for max income, you could have that type of indexing strategy, but now you throw something known as a lifetime income rider over that. That says, okay, at exactly age 65, you have a specific contractual guarantee through the insurance company that will provide you lifetime income, or you and your spouse specific lifetime income. So it kind of acts like a personal pension plan. So, there's so many different avenues that you could go with the individual retirement annuity, but where it doesn't work is with that individual that says, you know what, I feel like my account's got hurt a little bit. I want to risk it. I want to throw it into some risky investments. I want to go and deal with different options trading. I want to deal with, heavily on stocks and bonds. If you have a risky mindset, an individual retirement annuity is not going to work for your specific situation. These things work fantastic for the right individual, for that safe-minded individual that doesn't want to see downward market losses. They don't want to see fees hindering their accounts. They want to have that peace of mind that lifetime income will eventually come to them. And that's the way to leverage it the proper way. And I mean, that word leverage is so key with anything regarding your retirement. One of the things that we do is we have our 1-800 number. You could call it any time. It's 1-800-566-1002. We offer 24/7 customer service. And in particular, when calling in, you say, I might be interested in an individual retirement annuity or at least doing a rollover into an IRA type contract. What are some of my options? And what would happen is you'd be dealing with a specialist. We have specialists standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that specialist is going to ask you a slew of questions to try to figure out what your goal is. If you have a specific goal and what you're currently doing is going to accomplish that goal, then there's no need to change around your planning. That's such an integral part of retirement planning is you don't want to make a change if it's not necessary. But if there are specific gaps that are uncovered, then yes, you're going to want to make sure that you're leveraging the best financial contracts in your area, in your state, based upon your age, and it's specific to your goals, specific to your age, specific to your amount, specific to your income goal. And all it is just matching up the puzzle correctly, making sure that you're making out on the deal the best way possible. Because in retirement, you only have one shot to get things right. We have a proprietary system known as the Retire Sharp planning system that covers, on average, any individual that calls our office that we uncover a need. On average, we go over 1,200 different products and scenarios and strategies for each individual, making sure that when we make our recommendations, our top 3 recommendations to you, it's going to be everything, scanning everywhere in your specific area on your specific situation, so that you're not just saying, oh, I sat down at a seminar and I heard that company XYZ offered a good individual retirement annuity, and I feel like the guy was honest, so I'm just going to go with that. You have to understand that you control the chips. It should be the company's bidding on your business, not you just throwing it into a random company, because that's how you could lose thousands upon thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, depending upon your situation. When you don't do it successfully. So we try to at least make sure that you're getting from point A to point B successfully. We have a methodical process known as the Retire Sharp planning system. Feel free to give us a call at any time. 1-800-566-1002. We are A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau because of this process, because of the way that we treat our clients. We've never had any complaints. We've always had very good reviews, and it's because of everything that we try to do through our education process. I try to make sure to give you guys free education every week. I try to update those to make sure that it's as most to the current economic situation that we're experiencing as a nation, and what sort of financial tools you can leverage to your benefit. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retire Sharp, so you have access to the most updated videos. And I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Take care, guys.